So picking up where I left off, I have two of my artboards done, and I was going to do the third one, and I thought I'm going to show you another shortcut. So we've already seen we can hold the Alt key down to click and drag these. I can also take my selection tool, select a whole group of them. So now I started the selection just outside, and I finished just outside. I've just cascaded over all of them. And now holding my Alt key down, grab one of those paths and drag that down. So that's an even faster way. Once you get one page set up, you can select the whole thing, Alt key, grabbing one of the paths, and move it over. Okay, and now I'm going to zoom in on one of these and use the space bar to get my hand tool and have that center in my document area. And I will take the text tool. So there are all different kinds of text tools, but we're just going to use the regular text tool right now. And once I click, it automatically puts out some type, and I can choose the different kinds of characters, different types of font. And again, for these, I would like you to do something that is sans serif, so something that does not have any embellishments at the end. And if you've gone through the reading, it'll explain the difference between serif and sans serif. So, for example, Century Gothic is a very simple, straightforward sans serif font. That's the one that I'm going to use. So as soon as I've selected my text tool and I've clicked on it, gave me some text, and now I'm going to write a word. I'll write the word out, for example. And I could go up here and I could make it larger. I'll put in 72 points, for example. And I can take my selection tool and click and drag it down. I could also put in a number that wasn't here. So let's say I could put in 125. I could put in my own numbers. And now when I take the text tool, oh, sorry, it was already selected. So now this is at 125. So that can be very convenient. And once I take the selection tool on my text, I could also scale it holding the Shift key down. If I don't hold the Shift key down, though, I could distort my text, and that's not a good idea. Hold the Shift key down, drag from one of the corners up or sort of out or in. So I'm dragging from a corner, locks the proportions, and I can also scale my text that way. And so again, I got this box by using my selection tool. Once I go to a corner, if you notice, you get the rounded, the curved double arrow, which means that you could rotate this text. So I could rotate it and move it wherever I want to. So maybe I've made this a little bit big. And this is the general idea. So you're going to go and add some more. I'm going to show you in a minute how, as you've seen in some of the examples, I could clip this out. So what I want is only to see this part of the O, this part of the U, and this part of the T. I don't want to see any of that. But just to continue, so if I want to add another word right now, and I take the text tool, and I start to type, I can add one here. It's coming in at the same size as I already had set my text for from the last one. So let's see, I'm going to change that to the word in, but I want that font to be a lot smaller. Oops, I'm going to select it, choose that one to be 11, and I can take my selection tool and move it around. I could also, just going to zoom in a little bit, I could also select just one letter, and I could change the font size for that. I could make that one letter, 24 for example. Same thing over here, I could just select my U and make that a different size if I wanted to. So you could start to have some different scales within the letters. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep working, moving these around. What would work in terms of in? Would there be some sort of interesting pattern that I could make? Maybe duplicating in, out. Does it make sense? Like in, maybe if it's coming from the top. So there's no rule saying you can only put the word once. So maybe something like that. Okay. I think scale is a lot of fun, really try to play with that, but at the end, we're two goals. One, we're creating like a visual image, so I want to look at it and I want to feel like one thing is going in and one thing is going out. But also at the same time, we want to be able to feel like they're representing the words that are that are you're using for the scale. So I feel like that's too many, so maybe I want this coming in, feel like it's going in, and the other one feels like it's going out. So how can I clip these? How can I get this to cut off this amount of text? To do that, I need to open my layers panel. I'm going to open up the layers, and I need to figure out what my path is for the rectangle. And if I click on that and I scroll down here, the one that has the little blue box next to it is the one that's selected. So automatically select that for me. And just to check it, I can take the eyeball and turn it off. Yep, that's the layer. And I need to take the layer of text, so that's my out layer, and I need to drag it to be below in the layers panel. So I'm going to click, and I'm just going down, and I'm going to have to move that order around. Doesn't want to move up. There we go. So I moved. You can just click and drag those around. So I have the box on top of the word out. And now I need to select both of these. I'm going to group them together, and then I'm going to clip them so that this will become, it's like a mask, like an outline. So this will be the only shape that will show. And anything that is outside of that shape will not appear. It's like it's masked it off. So I'm going to hold the control key down and click in the circle to select both of them. And now go up under Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and there it did it. The other thing, so, well, if we look at what happened here, it created a group. There's now another arrow I can open up, and you can see how they're grouped together. They're like locked together. I'm going to click back on the layer that had my box because it actually made the stroke disappear, so I need to put that back. I'm going to put that back as a black stroke, and there it is. Okay, so just to note, they are both selected. So if I wanted to work on out, if I wanted to see what that would look like, notice when I try to click and drag, it assumes that I'm going for the top layer. So it's not what I want. I have to deselect the box on the top, and so I've clicked in the circle. Actually, I guess I'll word that differently. I don't have to deselect it. I have to just make sure I've only selected the word out. So I'm clicking in the circle there, and now that's the one that's selected, and I could keep working on that, rotating it, changing its scale, doing whatever I want to, and keep working on it. Okay, so that's pretty much what you need to know for this practice. Again, you're going to do one whole set, so all three of these word opposites should be different sets, so in and out, cold, hot, that would be a hard one to try to express. And then you're going to take all of this and repeat it on another artboard, but just doing a completely different variation. So try, out in a different way, and in is something else. And then you're going to do it a third time. So practice makes perfect. So I'll be interested to know which version, which artboard you think is your strongest. Is it the first ones you did, the second, or is it the third? You can let me know when you submit this on Blackboard.